Hello, welcome to a bedtime story with Grandy Rowe. Um, this story is actually not my story. This is my father's grandmother's story. Um, anyway, I'm looking down at typed papers, if you're wondering. Reminiscence of Nellie Leap Michael. My father was Elza Leap, and I was born in Pine Valley, Oregon, March 8th, 1896. We had a lovely home with a fruit orchard and a garden every year. My father worked in a lumber mill and received enough lumber to build a new house. Before the new house was built, we lived in a log house. We had lots of happy times. When the petite prunes were ripe and falling to the ground, we had battles with them. They were soft and full of juice, and we squirted juice all over each other. My mother raised geese for the feathers and mat. When the geese were nesting, or when the goslings were young, the ganders were on the defensive. They grabbed us with their beaks and beat us with their wings. Only my brother Eldon was brave enough to fight them. He used his cap to fight them. That worked for a while, but once the cap slipped out of his hand, when he bent over to pick it up, he was a target for the ganders. Then the rest of us had to gang up on the ganders to protect Eldon. Roof fires sometimes happened. We had one when my father wasn't home. My youngest brother was a baby. My mother was up on the roof fighting the fire. Jessie, my sister, wrapped Eldred in a blanket and started out the door, but the gander was there with his wings spread, hissing his warning. A neighbor came by on his horse in time to save the house from the fire and the Leap kids from the gander. We had two pets, a sheep and a colt. Both were aggravating, but we loved them. It seemed that the sheep delighted in butting us into a little creek that ran by the house. We liked to make a playhouse by laying pieces of lumber from the chicken house roof across to the fence, and then we would put up walls. No nails were used, so the house fell easily when the roof was disturbed. That was Nixie's, our young colt, part. The rafters of our playhouse were her favorite scratching posts. She had an itching spot most of the time, and our playhouse was in ruins most of the time. The things that seemed like childhood tragedies then are now pleasant memories. My mother's parents came down from Walla Walla, Washington to live with us in 1900. They lived in the log house, which the family had outgrown. We now lived in the larger lumber house. Jessie, Enid, and I went to Sunnydale School. Pine Creek ran past the schoolhouse, and we put bottles of milk in the creek to keep cool for our lunch. When the older children got too rough with the younger ones, my older sisters went to school for a while. I don't remember how far we walked to school, but when the snow was deep, it seemed farther. In the spring, When the snow began to melt under the trees, we went out of our regular path or road to walk on the soft ground. I think I'll end it there. There's more, but I think I'll do a part 2. I hope you enjoyed it.